Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I made it. If you remember our last conversation a week ago, thank you for that. I was working my way through the mental Olympics, the hurdles that we go through trying to get ready for this latest procedure. Stage 4 colon cancer. And I have, over the last 3.5 years, I have tenaciously gone after and successfully, because of the advent of the miracles of science. Do you know that this procedure that I just had, this ablation procedure on my lungs, did not even exist a few years ago? Like, I keep saying it, you hear me. I say it time and time again. I just have to stay alive to keep up with the science, and it is so true. Yeah. So I had the lung ablation procedure. That's when they go in, poke a few holes in you, and go directly to the cancer and drop some chemical on it and just burn it the fuck out. At the end of the day, nobody knows. It's too new. Some of my doctors think it's not going to elongate my life, and it's not going to do anything except for perhaps hurt me. So far, so good. But then, other doctors think like it's new. We don't know, so let's try it. And I'm with them, because even if it doesn't work for me, there will be people that come behind me, and it will work for them. It didn't go quite as wonderfully as I would hope. They did clear almost all of the cancer out of my right lung. Unfortunately, I started to have a little bit of a collapsed lung, and so they had to stop, and so they had to leave one lesion. Okay, no big deal. My doctor said, don't worry. He will, if I recover from this successfully, that's the goal right now, he will go back in a couple of weeks. We're going to do it to the other lung, and he'll grab the lesion he had to leave behind. It did mean I had to have a chest tube. And can you believe 3.5 years of doing this? 3.5 years, 8 surgery procedures, 20 rounds of radiation, coming up on 60 rounds of chemo, and I have never had a chest tube. And it was not pleasant. It's funny. My nurse has the recovery nurse was saying to me, so they brought me out of the procedure. They thought like I was healing, but the lung started to collapse, and they had to take me back in and put the chest tube in, right? And so, they thought everything was okay. They were about to release me. It turns out it didn't. I'm happy they discovered it before I went home and had the fear of what's happening, right? But the nurse says to me, she's like, Nicole, she goes, you're just always so kind in your reaction and your behavior to this type of news. And I was smiling, looking at her and thinking, well, we should be kind to others in life. But in my head, I was thinking, I know that you all think that I am like, and my friends say this all the time, and my doctors say this all the time, you're so positive, you're so kind, and yes I am. And it's not the toxic positivity like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. No, it's not, because I have a terminal disease, and all I'm trying to do is push the goalpost, because I know that they can't cure me, and I know it's gonna get me. But the positivity and the kindness, no, of course, like, don't be assholes, people. But the positivity is a choice, and it's actually selfish and I was thinking about this for the couple of days that I was in the hospital, because I was struggling. This wave of sadness hit me, and I was struggling with that because I didn't understand. Like, we had the fact that I got to try this procedure was amazing and wonderful. The fact that it exists, amazing and wonderful, and it was super successful. Like, this is didn't, you know, the chest tube was not something that either of us hoped for, but okay, still totally successful. I think I don't know, exhausted from. So when I go into these types of procedures, as we chatted a lot before I went in, through the fear and the mental hurdle and stuff. Once I decide, and I'm there, and I'm in the hospital, I'm not being positive to be some fucking ray of sunshine. Not. I am trying to give my body all of the resources that it needs, mentally and physically, to heal and get through this, right? I think the removal of the chest tube is a great minute example. If you've never had a chest tube, that shit fucking hurts. That shit was not pleasant. The thing is when they remove a chest tube, you have to take a breath in, and you have to hold it. And you cannot inhale while they're removing it. Because if you do, you inhale, that air creates a suction around the tube, and it grabs it, pulls it back in, right? And then it gets stuck. And now it's like, then it becomes very complicated. Lots of problems happen and blah, blah, blah. So you can't inhale. But your body's natural reaction to pain is to inhale, right? Fear. So my choosing to be positive, again, is not because I'm want to be a goddamn ray of sunshine. It's because I'm trying to put my body in a position with all things to don't tense up with anger. Don't tense up with fear. Don't have these physical exertions that take away from the healing. Does that make sense? Like, and I have to do that with everything. If I get anxious before chemo, then my blood pressure goes up and they won't give me chemo. So you gotta be zen, right? It's why at my cancer center, I am well known because I put my earphones on and I'm walking and I'm doing exercises. For the hour, they take your blood work and you have an hour to burn before you can go into the chair. And everyone's always applauding me, like, oh, it's so great you're working out. Oh, it's so great that you're active. Oh, it's so great, you know. I am choosing to do that because if I sit down, my body becomes filled with anxiety and sadness, looking around, thinking, fuck, I'm sitting in a cancer center trying not to die. So instead, I find my Zen place. Again, actually not being a ray of sunshine. It's very methodical, as with all things that I choose to do. I mean, I struggled coming out of this surgery. There was an exhaustion that hit me. It's been 3.5 years, and you always have to temper this, right? I am grateful. I know I should be grateful. I know I am a miracle of science that I am still here. All that being said, so exhausted, so tired of fucking dealing with this disease. I just want to, I don't know, maybe because I had this last month of partying with my nephew and going to Marrakesh, Morocco. I just want more, and coming out of that procedure, I just thought, am I ever gonna get it? Am I ever gonna have a life where I don't have to go to the hospital every single week? That's okay. I'm allowing those thoughts, but I don't want to sit in it because I'm still healing. So I think let's not think about that. Let's think about the miracle that happened, and we got through this. And if all this continues to happen as it should, in the next couple of weeks, I get to do it again, and maybe I will have a couple of months where I can just have a glimpse of a normal life again. All right, well, I'm sorry, I got deep there, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm okay. I'm doing great, doing fine. Drinking my green juice, going for my walks, getting ready for chemo next week. But for right here, right now, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. All right. I'll chat with you again soon. Thanks for checking in on me.